San Diego Comic-Con was a huge train wreck for Doctor Who, as Russell T Davies just couldn't help himself but mire himself in the DEI woke politics once again. It seems like, if I were Disney or the BBC at this point, I would just lock Russell T Davies up and be like, look, you're not going out and doing interviews. You're not going into public stuff. You're just making everything worse with every time you open your mouth. It's been this case since the 60th anniversary specials came out, and he started promising that he was going to be inserting far more identity politics into his work. He went so far, like at one point, to say, if you're not talking about abortion in your shows, like, what are you even doing? And then they made their weird, cringy Space Babies episode trying to do just that. They tried to make a point about abortion, and they actually failed at it. It was such a convoluted, poorly written episode that the the real moral of the day was the doctor had to save the babies. So I guess like abortion wasn't a good thing or a good idea. Oh well. So that's exactly what they do every single time. Their woke politics just have no basis in reality. They can't even craft a story around it that makes them sound sane or even makes their points for them. They just try to throw in the little virtue signaling inserts into different sections of it and hope that it sticks and hopes that that's enough of a propaganda to do something going forward. Now, this whole show has been a woke train wreck, as we know. Russell T Davies has gone and given interview after interview, just like talking about his politics, making himself into some sort of personal victim. It looks like the new doctor, even though he's black, I don't understand, is some sort of like Russell T Davies gay self-insert sort of deal. Or maybe Russell T Davies thinks he's the rogue guy that he's making out with. I don't know. But this is all it is. It's all identity politics at this point. Now, this panel we're going to talk about today actually was one he did with Alex Kurtzman, the guy who's been ruining Star Trek with Discovery and the exact same things. If you checked out a Discovery, they had a whole episode where they lectured you about pronouns. I mean, it's exactly the same thing. It's actually less fun than Doctor Who, even the current one, believe it or not. It's something that was so unwatchable, it just fell off the charts. It didn't even show up on the Nielsen ratings. It was so low. And that's where these franchises are being left at. These were once the biggest science fiction franchises in the world, and now they're circling the drain and nobody wants them. And yet they're doubling down because I guess like they have no possible ability to be fired because these guys are using their identity politics in order to like keep their jobs. That's the only thing that makes sense at this point. Whew, that was a pretty long video intro. Sorry about that. I got on my little rant, and I just get mad about this stuff because it just bothers me so much. I'm a professional science fiction writer myself, my guys, and I would love for you to check out my Hidden Emperor graphic novel. This is on Kickstarter right now. It's got real storytelling, classic storytelling. I tried to model it really after like Valerian and Laureline, and after Warhammer 40K, kind of Star Wars-y. So if you'd like any good classic science fiction, some fun stuff before everything got ruined, check this out on Kickstarter. We have some wonderful books for you, and I would appreciate you checking out this great science fiction. 21,000 already with 47 days to go. You guys are crushing it for me. Thank you so much. I really want to get to that 25 marker soon because we got some very fun surprises in store. Just stay tuned. And please hit the like and subscribe button while you're here. I appreciate you guys for being here. So I wrote this article this morning on Fandom Pulse, my Substack also, in the description, about what's going on, what happened with this panel, and set up the whole problems with Doctor Who as we discussed already. Season 2's already been filmed, and it's already done, and so they're already going forward with this exact same direction. And we've already heard that Disney, behind the scenes, the bosses are not happy with the direction that's been going on. They know that the ratings are way worse than they expected. It hasn't even been charting on the Nielsen ratings on Disney+. While the BBC ratings are poor as well, the worst in Doctor Who history. And they've already greenlit and done a 5-part miniseries spin-off of this. And this follows Unit, and so I guess they're fighting against the Sea Devils or whatever. It's going to be like a Torchwood knockoff because Russell T Davies is only doing knockoffs of everything he did before. Even the Rogue guy is just a knockoff of the Captain Jack, but even gayer, right? That's what they're trying to do. And so no creativity whatsoever. It just completely phoning it in. Now, they were on a panel, and they got asked about fan reaction to the show. And they were like, how do you feel about the fan criticism out there because this is, of this last season? and he just bumbled and mumbled. I could barely make out what he was saying, and I tried to transcribe it as much as I possibly could. But Russell T. Davies really is awful when he's out there speaking and trying to obfuscate from what's going on. And the reason he couldn't just give a straight answer is because he's lying about everything. And he knows that he's doing something bad. He knows he's made a completely bad show. He knows his writing's been atrocious. He knows that it's nearly unwatchable. He knows the fans are pissed. He knows that everybody's tuning out. And even the people at Disney are starting to put pressure on him, but it's too late because they filmed 2 full seasons in advance. And the next one's going to go even worse because it's just the same direction, right? And so he goes, I don't go online much. That's what he sounds like, if you've ever listened to him talk. Maybe I should. Maybe that's wrong. I'm talking about Twitter, and then he says something unintelligible. X as a portal online, and I edited out all the ums and the stuttering where he's like I don't go because we're trying to do something legible here. He says, I don't feel particularly safe as a gay man, so full stop. He doesn't go on Twitter because he doesn't feel safe as a gay man. This is the most How old are you, Russell? Like, are you a man? Like, come on. Come on. I don't feel safe. I need my safe space in my echo chamber bubble. This is exactly what the liberals do every single time. They just hide and run, block everybody, don't listen to anybody, tune everybody out, put their little head in the ground like they're an ostrich, and pretend everything's okay while the world's getting nuked around them. That's exactly what they do once they put all their little crappy politics that ruins everything into everything, and then they just pretend the fallout's not happening. This is Russell T. Davies. He's doing it right now. He's not feeling safe as a gay man. Very nice, Russell. You're so stunning and brave, hiding from the fans. Yeah. He says it's getting worse and worse in society. By the way, the gay people pretty much run society at this point. It's in every TV show. It's even in children's TV shows. They're pushing it in schools. They're pushing it in everything. He can run around, and you look at the pride parades this last summer where they were literally just doing it in the streets. I mean, it's just disgusting stuff. And this stuff shouldn't be tolerated in a polite society. These people should just go and, do what they're going to do away from people and not in public. I mean, that's how it should be. Bring back shame again. I wish it was getting worse and worse in society. It just is making society worse and worse is the real truth, because these people are just running rampant with no checks and balances whatsoever. And we shouldn't be forced to just watch this all the time. That's really what it should be. He said, I see what's said out there, but that's a long discussion for another time. So he immediately says, I'm not going to talk about how bad people are reacting to Doctor Who. I've seen it. It's a long discussion. We'll do it later. He's never going to do it. You know that. And he says, I'm not sure I can even be part of that. Of course not, because you're running and hiding from the truth. You're running and hiding from the fans. You hate the fans. And you're intentionally destroying Doctor Who, and you know it. That's what. So I get my agent telling me what's going on. I get people kind of here inevitably, but there's kind of osmosis about the culture wars or whatever, kind of creep through. What? You intentionally put this as part of the culture wars and intentionally did this to piss people off. Oh, these people are so insufferable. It gets even crazier, though. He says, to be honest, in terms of online activity, I'm much more interesting in happening. I think Doctor Who's fine. It's not fine, guys. And this is where he starts to obfuscate and really change the direction of things. He says, I think that there are things happening in the culture war, particularly with trans rights, which are 1,000,000 times more important than what's happening in Doctor Who. Well, Russell T. Davies, I get that you have your politics stuff and you want to be an activist in that. This is literally a Doctor Who panel at Comic-Con, okay? You're here to talk about Doctor Who. You're here to talk about the stories of Doctor Who and what's going on about Doctor Who. You're here to promote Doctor Who. Now you're saying trans rights are just more important than this? We're not going to talk about the thing I'm here to talk about? I mean, gosh, if I were Disney or the BBC, I would yank you out of there at this point. This is insane. This is the worst public relations I've ever seen. You are admitting you don't give a F about your own show that you are paid millions to write and showrun, to become a celebrity over, and you just care about this other thing. We're just going to talk about this other thing. Please clap. Oh my gosh, trans rights. Leave us alone. Again, what rights are they even talking about? Because these people have the rights to do anything, and if you criticize them, you can get fired. Like, this is the real reality we live in. These phonies, these complete liars. Oh my gosh, I just get so agitated with this stuff. So he says it's getting worse. It's terrifying after that. Yeah, I mean, it is terrifying that we watch the Olympic Games and these trans people are mocking the Last Supper of Christ. They bring kids up on stage in this stuff, grooming them into this crap. Russell T. Davies, you've said that you're after the kids over and over and over again. We know what your agenda is, too. It is terrifying. What you're doing is terrifying. Oh, my gosh. These people should be locked up. They really should. So Alex Kurtzman is on the panel as well. He's the guy who's been ruining Star Trek, as mentioned before. And he's the one who's going to give Russell his valid... Even if the fans won't and they won't watch it, I'll validate you, Russell. So Alex Kurtzman says, you're fighting some of those battles on the show just by the representation. So that's all they care about. They want to put just more gay crap into this, more trans crap into this. They don't care about actually putting together a decent show, writing a decent script, making good characters, doing honor to the Doctor Who legacy before, or Star Trek legacy. It applies all to Star Trek too. They just care about doing the representation. That's all this is about. And you see, it's almost a joke, this panel. You got a black female journalist wearing a mask in 2024. You got a Jewish guy who's subverting the media in the middle. And then you've got a gay dude. It's like their entire panel is just diversity hires the Comic-Con panel. My gosh. But this is irritating. Russell T. Davies knows what he's doing. He's lying to everybody. He's gaslighting everybody. And he's trying to play victim this entire time after he's made his entire agenda about being gay and trans and all this stuff. Why are you calling me out on this? It's just like, these people are so disingenuous and so sick. They need to go away. All right. Leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Hit the like and subscribe button. Check out good science fiction writing with The Hidden Emperor only on Kickstarter right now. Thank you so much for the tremendous support so far. 21,000 and rising. We'll be back soon.